Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing with you 10 ways that my life improved when I quit drinking alcohol. So if you are newly sober or you are considering taking a break from alcohol, hopefully after what I share with you today, you will be inspired to give sobriety a shot. So before we hop into the video, I just want to thank you guys for being here with me. On this channel, I like to talk about all things spirituality, and I hope to inspire others to reconnect with their innate spiritual self. Now we can get into what I know you are here for, how my life improved when I quit drinking. Yay. Okay, so the 10 ways my life improved when I quit drinking. Number one is my mental health improved drastically. It's like night and day. Alcohol is absolutely terrible for the brain, and it's very apparent to me because towards the end, my anxiety was at an all-time high. I was having daily panic attacks, daily doom and dread, all the while trying to, be a, loving, happy mom to my children. I was showing them a happy mother, but I was really distraught inside. I know a lot of people drink alcohol to try to cope with their anxiety, but it actually makes it worse. It makes it 10 times worse. And then you're trapped in this loop of drinking to get some relief, wake up, and your anxiety is 10 times worse. And that's how it was for me. And in my early days, I still had a lot of anxiety, health anxiety. I was convinced my heart was failing. And what I can tell you now is that at 3 months sober, anxiety is pretty non-existent. And that is huge considering where I was in my early days of sobriety with constant crippling anxiety to anxiety-free, to feeling joy and happiness every day, to having that mental clarity, having your mind back when you were in such a fog is such an incredible blessing. And that's why I wanted to put it on number one on the list, because that is one of the most apparent things that has happened to me since I quit drinking was my mental health improved, astoundingly. It's amazing. That brings us to number two on the list is I got my self-worth back. And that's a big one for me because when I was drinking, I was breaking promises to myself because I was constantly saying, okay, I'm going to quit drinking. Today's the day. And I would drink. And, when you're inconsistent with yourself, that has a big impact on your self-esteem. You start really feeling low and that shame and that guilt. And think about it. Like when you have a hangover, do you feel good about yourself? Like, yeah, awesome. Like I totally self-inflicted all this pain on myself, by being an idiot and drinking, like that's how I felt about myself. I never, congratulated myself on a hangover day. Like, wow, good for you. No, like you're in bed all day. You feel worthless. Essentially you are, because when you're in that much pain, like you're useless to everyone. You're useless to your children. You're no good for anybody when you're nursing a hangover and you're struggling with that shame. And that's the thing. When you quit drinking, you start to be able to rely on yourself, and you're showing up to your commitments. You are honoring yourself, by not drinking. You are way less likely to text your ex when you're sober. Period. We only make those hasty decisions when we are out of our mind, right? Okay. When you're of sound mind and body, when you are sober, you don't think to yourself, it'd be a great idea to text my ex right now, or it would be a great idea to post this weird thing on Instagram. I was definitely guilty of that, like waking up and deleting things like, oh my gosh, embarrassing. But when you are sober, you're less likely to have those moments where you have shame. Life happens. Yes, of course, we make mistakes, but it's way less when you are not ingesting alcohol. Number 3 on my list of ways my life improved when I quit drinking alcohol is my physical health improved. Shocking, I know. Amazing what happens when you stop putting a poison in your body. Your body will thank you. Your body does not like poison. So when you are pumping it full of alcohol, your body does not like you, okay? Things are not functioning properly. Your body is in survival mode, you know, it's not good. I know this is a pretty common thing with people who struggle with alcohol is, you know, you become really bloated in the face. And I really noticed that with myself. I hated myself in pictures because my face always looked so fat and I was always really red. And just, you know, I almost looked like a different person. I look back at pictures and I can't believe it, but that's a big thing. You know, when you quit drinking alcohol, you know, your face stops bloating, you know, redness will go away, you'll lose weight. I lost a little bit of weight. I don't keep a scale because I don't feel the need to weigh myself. I kind of just go by, you know, what my clothes fit and that sort of thing. I don't really like to focus on a number on a scale, but I do know, you know, I lost weight, I toned up a bit. You know, it could be a whole category for itself, but when you're not drinking and you're, you know, not hungover every day, you work out more. So of course, you know, you're going to feel better, you're going to look better, you're going to, you know, be more fit, hopefully. You know, I did allow myself to indulge in sweets and things like that. So I didn't have a huge significant weight loss. Some people do, which is amazing. You know, some people even, you know, gain weight in sobriety, which is way better to me, I think, than, you know, killing yourself with alcohol, you know. But yes, physical health, huge improvements. Number 4 on the list is I got my confidence back. You know, when you are constantly drinking, letting yourself down, embarrassing yourself in public, embarrassing yourself in front of your friends, you know, not working out because you're hungover, you know, not caring for yourself because, you know, you're too busy drinking at night. You know, your confidence takes a hit. I know mine did. You know, I was in a very low, you know, self-worth state when I quit drinking. But little by little, as I stayed sober and accountable to myself and, you know, working out more because I felt better. And instead of, you know, drinking at night, you know, doing a skincare routine and, you know, getting proper sleep, you know, you start to feel confident again. And I think it's also a part of the fact that when you're showing up for yourself day in and day out and you are honoring your word, you are honoring your commitment, you are going to be confident. You are going to feel good about who you are. And speaking of sleep, it needs its own number. Number 5, my sleep quality improved tremendously. When I was drinking, I would stay up all night, you know, because that was like my time, you know, the kids were asleep. It's my time to watch shows and drink myself into oblivion. And, you know, I would go to bed so late or early, however you want to look at it, and just feel exhausted. Every day was just exhausted. When you start getting sober, in the early days, it's kind of, you know, hit or miss where, you know, you kind of have a little bit of insomnia and that sort of thing. But after the first couple weeks, man, sleep is so good. You are tired like at 9 o'clock, you know, for me, I'm like tired at 8 now, but you know, you're tired at a proper time. And instead of drinking all night, you know, you go to bed and you wake up feeling rested. You know, alcohol really disrupts the REM sleep cycle, and you really need that, you know, for that restorative sleep. You know, your brain needs that. And when you're constantly drinking, you know, your brain is not getting that and it's not good, and your overall health suffers. So number 6, no more hangovers. Yay. This is a big one. This is a huge one. This is a no-brainer. I feel like when you're not drinking, you don't have hangovers. Hangovers are the worst. You know, it's when you're sober for, you know, a period of time, you start to forget like how bad it is. And not having that, you know, waking up every morning, like, yeah, you'll still have days where you're groggy or whatever, but for the most part, like every morning is so amazing. Waking up hangover free, shame free. You know what you did the night before. You know, you didn't text anybody stupid things. You know, it's a great feeling waking up hangover free, being able to live your life without, you know, something like that holding you back. That's self-inflicted. You know, that was a big thing for me was, you know, especially having kids, you know, you want to keep up with them, you know, want to play with them. When you're hungover, you don't want to do anything like that. And in turn, that makes you feel like you're the worst mom in the world. You know, and that's how I felt on days when I was hungover and, you know, we had to watch movies in bed together. You know, now I don't have days like that. I'm always pretty much full of energy, ready to go, ready to play, way more productive, you know, not missing a workout, you know, just really able to live each day fully and not have to, you know, deal with a crippling hangover. Number 7, I have better relationships now that I'm not drinking. You know, alcohol makes us say things that we would never usually say. It makes us do things we would never usually do, you know, and that impacts all the relationships in your life. You know, as an example, you know, my husband and I, we fight way less when we both don't drink. It's just a fact. You know, we get into way less arguments. You know, our most silly arguments that we've ever had were, you know, when we were both under the influence. Another thing I wanted to point out about, you know, relationships strengthening and sobriety is, you know, when you are out with your friends and, you know, it's centered around drinking, you know, no one's really paying attention and you forget sometimes, you know, what, you know, you were talking about. But when you have like sober interactions with your friends or with your family, like those are meaningful. Like, let me tell you, like that is awesome. And, you know, alcohol really steals that, you know, that connection. But when you're sober, you're able to connect with your friends, with your family, with your children, you know, on a whole deeper level that is just so much better. So number 8 on the list, I have being the best mom that I can be. Now, this one's really huge for me because, you know, being a mom is one of the things that I love most in life. You know, I'm so grateful for my children and, you know, of course I want to be the best that I can be for them. And especially because, you know, I grew up with, you know, alcoholism in the family, and it was really hard to, you know, witness my mother's struggles with alcoholism. And it really impacted me as a kid. And showing up, you know, as a sober mom to my kids in a way is healing my own inner child, healing that part of me that had to go through alcoholism, and, you know, being the adult child of an alcoholic. Being sober for my children allows me to heal that part of me. And that has been so huge. So showing up as a sober mom for my kids and showing up for inner me, you know, inner child Danielle, has been so huge. And that's what we call breaking generational trauma, breaking generational curses. You know, when you come from a line of alcoholics or addiction or some kind of, you know, toxic family dynamic, and you say, it ends with me, you know, you flip the script, you put an end to it, and now your children don't have to go through what you did. And that is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. So number 9, I have making time for hobbies and reconnecting with my creativity. And that kind of follows follows what I was saying about the healing the inner child. So much of getting sober is about healing our inner child. You know, we all have traumas from our childhood. Even if you had the most perfect family life, you know, we all have things that we need to heal from. And when you're sober, you have the opportunity to do so. And for me, that meant getting in touch with my hobbies again, you know, painting with the kids, drawing, you know, that was something I loved to do as a kid. And I started, you know, drawing fairies again with my children, you know, just letting myself be silly with them, you know, starting my YouTube channel, something that I had wanted to do for years, but my drinking was holding me back. When you get sober, you have time to reconnect with things that you are passionate about, things that inspire you, that spark that inner child inside you. You know, sobriety makes room for you to be able to do that. And number 10, I have inner calm and peace. My soul is happy. I can feel that. I truly believe that any form of addiction is a call from your soul that something isn't right. Something needs to change. Something needs to be worked on. And getting sober, I've been able to reconnect with myself, reconnect with my soul, work on my spirituality, and that inner peace where I know everything is going to be okay. You know, I'm not living in survival mode anymore. When you are in addiction and you are, you know, self-destructing, you know, you're in survival mode. There's no room for you to be working on spirituality. And my spiritual awakening happened in the midst of me getting sober. You know, it was make it or break it. I knew that this was a part of my spiritual awakening, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to reach my full potential and, you know, connect with my soul in a way that I wanted to if I was, you know, escaping with alcohol. And that's really what happened to me towards the end, is alcohol was my escape. And I was missing so much right in front of me. And now that I'm sober, I am living a life that I don't want to escape from. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. Please let me know if you found this helpful. I hope this resonated with you. Leave me some comments down below. Leave me your sobriety date. I would love to connect with you and hear from you. Until next time, take care of yourself, follow your heart, and I will see you real soon in the next one. Bye, guys.